Well, I thought we'd get some expert opinion on this from Vanessa Sternum, who's a nutritional expert. So protein, added protein is everywhere. Doesn't matter what you're buying. Is this necessarily a good thing?
Well, protein is important, but what's happening is that we're missing the bigger things that are really going to help our health. And it really depends on the product, first of all, as to whether or not it's healthy. And there are some really fantastic products out there. But I do want to say that the thing most people are deficient in is fiber. Most people are not getting fruit, veggies, beans, nuts, seeds, things that are really going to help their gut health, help their cognitive performance, and reduce the risk of disease. Very few people are protein deficient. We do need to be focusing more on fiber, but luckily I've also got some tips for those foods that have fiber and protein.
All right, let's try and see if we can make a list then. If you want to prioritize fiber, what should you be looking out for?
Well, there is fiber in all plants, and we know that all of us need to be eating more of these plant-based whole foods. Like I said, the fruits, the veggies, the whole grains, the beans, the tofu. But of course, as we know, protein is still important, and we do know we need to be eating more plant protein to help our health as well as our planet. We're eating far too much animal protein, which has an impact on our planet as well. So go for things like tofu. So in the supermarket, you can get pre-marinated tofu. If you're thinking, goodness, I'm not sure I want to be making that. That sounds a bit new. You can get wonderful already flavored tofu like teriyaki tofu. And there are things like tempeh, which is fermented soya beans, also lovely. And you know, when you go to those restaurants and you have edamame beans as a starter, start building those into your life as well, along with chickpeas, other beans and lentils, which are really high in fiber and have some protein as well. They are excellent for your health.
I was thinking I was going to struggle here because I'm not going to lie to you. Tofu, depending on how it's been spiced and flavoured, I think I can get away with that. I'm not a great fan of the old edamame beans, but I love chickpeas, black-eyed beans, kidney beans, lentils, all that kind of stuff. That's a bit of me.
Brilliant. Have those. But a little surprise is that you can even make tofu into chocolate mousse. And you probably would never know that it's tofu.
Are you sure?
All sorts of wonderful things that we can be looking up and exploring with that are also very cost effective.
How can you make tofu into mousse?
So there's a type of tofu called silken tofu, and it's literally squishy. And you get this in the ambient sections, as in it's not in a fridge. And you basically melt chocolate and you whiz it up with the tofu. Do look at a recipe online. So if you were to type in tofu chocolate mousse, you'd find this, and you make it with 2 or 3 ingredients. So it's super easy and it's just magical. Tofu is like plain flour. It's only tasty once we flavour it and make it into something.
You've got to add something. Well, listen, what you've showed there is that it's easy for us all to boost the amount of protein that we're having, the amount of fibre that we're having. You do have to work at it a little bit. You have to think about what you're eating throughout the week. At least that's what I've found. Some great advice there from Vanessa Sternum, our nutritional expert this afternoon.